Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Brighton podcast, brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network. It's your boy, the Big JG, and I am joined by Charley. Charley, how are we doing this weekend?
Oh God, it's been a long week, hasn't it? To be a Brighton fan, I want to say it's probably been, yeah, it's just been a long week, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, it's not. I wish for the Brighton fans at home and for us that we were delivering this news and this podcast under better circumstances. But quite frankly, we have lost to Crystal Palace for the second time this season. Our rivals, and it is actually, I'm sorry to bring up this fact, but it's the first time since 1932 that Palace have done the double over Brighton. It's not a great record for us, and it's not making this current team, and it's not probably it's a reason for more fans to inexplicably ask for Hertzler's head on social media, and they probably already are asking for his head after that performance and after that result. But yeah, it's not good reading for Hertzler and his boys, especially as a new man in charge.
Yeah, I think I must. I did think I couldn't remember that stat. Sorry, I hoped it was like the 70s, but that still doesn't make it any better. That it's
No.
nearly 100 years since they've done the double.
Shattered.
Shattered. Yeah, that
100
happened.
years of legacy gone
That
within a year.
and also obviously the biggest defeat in so many years with the Forest game. I
Yeah.
mean, Hurt's the youngest manager. He's getting the good stats, but he's also getting the bad stats as well.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, thinking about it, we are record breakers this season. If we want to put a spin on this season at the end, we're record breakers. What an amazing thing. We won't say what we're the record breakers for, but we are record breakers.
Unless we get our biggest finish, that's the only thing a record he's got to do now. He's got to get plenty of positives. There's got to be a positive.
Exactly.
There's got to be a positive record he's going to break.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this season, well, it's now back-to-back losses as well, after we lost to Aston Villa midweek. And it is, I guess, after we were looking so good for so long, especially to begin in 2025, we've looked really promising. We got a couple wins under our belt, went for a massive win streak, really, and then started getting ourselves back into the European places, giving our fans hope. And now it's kind of crumbling around us. We need a good reset next week against Leicester, and I feel like then hopefully we can start picking up wins again and we can start competing for Europa League or even Champions League if fifth is still knocking about and up for grabs.
I love that optimism that Champions League is still it's still
on the cards.
It's still on the cards. We do never know. With Chelsea dropping points, if somehow City, Newcastle, if Newcastle lose tomorrow, then all right, I'm amazed. But I'm still not buying that yet. I can't buy that.
No, and do you know what's even worse is that by losing to Crystal Palace, they're also on an amazing run of form. I hate to say it. They've also crept within 4 points of us, and they're, like we said off air, they're starting to look like they're trying to get into the mix for at least the Conference League places, with Bournemouth dropping points around us, Brentford as well. Fulham did pick up a win today, so that's not even worse for us, really, that they've picked up points. But yeah, like Palace are now in this little dogfight for a European place, which is even worse. If they get European places after us mocking them at the beginning of the season for how bad they were and how Oliver Glasner was basically a flash in the pan last season, I'm going to be mortified. Absolutely mortified.
No, it's not happening. I'm going to say it's not happening. They're not doing it. They're not.
Fingers crossed.
They're not doing it. It could be delusional to say that they're not doing it.
Well, they've lost 2 key men, which we will touch on later on, and all the red cards and all the drama that took place in yesterday's game. But Charlie, just give me your thoughts on the game itself and what you kind of thought of it.
It was, the game itself. What as a classic Palace versus Brighton, I wouldn't say it's probably the most entertaining. Not a lot of teams created chances. I think from a Brighton perspective, we defensively, I think we got it wrong. Uh, I mean, we don't have a lot of options in defence anyway, with the likes of Veltman, Kalioglu out, um, Lamptey. We're
Webster
limited on
now.
our Webster. We're limited, and I think with the pace that Palace have got on the wings, with the likes of Eze, Mateta as well, and they're just obviously their ability to get high quickly and counter attack. We just didn't prepare for that. They were left so much space. But I know we'll touch on the goals, but like the goals came from
Mm,
like the Palace players driving, like Gahey just driving through our defence just like
yeah.
that, not picking up the players, giving Eze the space for the second goal
Hmm.
to get the ball. It wasn't great. Obviously I think the first half was probably better. We had a couple of decent chances with Baliba, Ayari at the end. I do feel for Ayari. He's really trying to get a goal. He's,
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
never falling me right through. He's either hitting the
Poor bloke.
post.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was a very good finish considering where it was. But yeah,
Mm,
it wasn't great. But and it's just to lose in that manner and to then obviously them go down to 9 men
and
for
still not be able
still
to.
not to get
Yeah.
anything out of it. It shows. I think the international break. Oh, that's why no one likes the March international break. Like it kills momentum. It killed the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's just since then it's just dropped, and it's just the worst time to play Palace. I think for us.
Yeah, actually, good point. I think, yeah, really, because we were on such a good run of form before the international break. The international break comes around, and suddenly we look off it. And I think a lot of our players did travel as well. If you look at
Yeah,
Pedro, and they were even called up for international duty. And I feel like maybe the travels got onto the back of them. That's why we saw kind of a lackluster Villa performance as well. But yeah,
yeah,
this game was a game of very few chances, like 19 shots in total. And most of our shots, 4 of our 11 shots came after the 90th minute. They were like pop shots, like, oh crap, it's the time's running down. Let's get some shots off. And they were all blocked because Palace were obviously loading the box, trying not to concede. And it was just a very frustrating game. But it
Mm.
was a game full of talking points, full of drama, which we will touch on in the next segment after this Bionic ad.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
And we are back with a Daily Brighton podcast. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good start for the Seagulls, I'll tell you that. Conceding within 2 minutes, and it was that man, Mateta, who's haunted us in the past and continues to haunt us. Just an absolute shocking start. Run us through the goal, Charlie, and yeah, like you said before the ad break, it was unacceptable defending all round, really.
yeah. I mean, like it was just, so they got the ball. We kind of lost the ball high at the pitch. And then you got the likes of Gay, a centre back, driving at our defence and just being able to walk through. I think he got past us. I think it was Hinchelwood.
Mm.
I want to say it was Yari or I can't remember.
I think Gomez was around him. I
Gomez. It
think he
was
had
Gomez.
4 men around him at
Yeah,
one point.
I don't know.
It's mental.
I just say it as a I do rate Gay. I think he's a very good, but he shouldn't. We shouldn't have been allowing that. And then obviously the ball to Eze. Eze's obviously the pass to Mateta was a great ball. And then we know what Mateta can do. So the gap that Dunk, I think he was literally parked between Dunk and Van Hecker. They just didn't. Like Dunk should have been following him. Like Dunk should have been on him like glue.
Yeah.
And he just didn't do it. And the finish was a great finish. It was a very good goal.
Yeah.
But defensively, it was just poor. We shouldn't have just been allowed them to just basically walk through it. 3 passes out, or even less, probably 2 passes and goal.
Yeah, and I've got to say, my biggest problem with this goal, and I've been on his back basically all season. I think he is way past his prime, and it's Lewis Dunk again.
Yeah.
How he's been done, because he's the one marking Mateta when Gahey's making that run, and no one's tackling him, and then Gahey obviously plays it off. Lewis Dunk is marking him. Mateta does this like little feint move, like change of direction, and Lewis Dunk has been sold by it. Like Mateta looks to drop deep to receive it, but then instead he goes and makes a run into the box, and Dunk is then off him by about 5 yards from the most simple, like fake move or feint move or whatever you want to call it, and it's just kind of unacceptable defending, and it's defending that makes me call for like, please, Adam Webster get fit again, which is absolutely crazy to say because it's Adam Webster, but Lewis Dunk is making Adam Webster look phenomenal.
Which I don't know if it's a confidence thing for Dunk, because you're right. This season he has not been anywhere near as good. Like last year, I thought Dunk was. I thought it was exceptional. I thought he was. He's probably obviously got the England call up. A few times he looked strong. He just looked like I say, for me, he was in the pinnacle. And with it, I don't know what. I don't know whether the injury he took later on. I think in the last season, he's just not been as one. It's not stayed fit. The knocks are just there. He's just not getting. He's just not sharp. He did make the mistakes, but he's just not. I don't think he is as sharp with it anymore. And you've got the likes of Webster who's come in, and again, I know early on the podcast. I don't know particularly you, Jamie. You were calling for Adam Webster's head, absolutely, particularly after the Chelsea game. But he had a point.
Deserved it for that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But he had a point. He came in when Dunk was injured, and he point to prove, and he played really well. And I just don't think Dunk's got that in him anymore. He's not and I think players know to target Dunk now.
100%.
They catch him on the break. He's gone. He's left in the dust behind them. He can't catch him. He's not glued to them players. And I think, yesterday's that goal was a prime example of the dunk. The dunk I feel like we knew a year ago would have been on that.
And I don't know whether it is like age does just catch up to you at one point in your career, doesn't it? And it's like he is 33 years old, and it is kind of that time where he was never blessed with pace anyway, but like he looks like even his reading of the game, like should have been like that was back in the day, like you say. That would have been Dunk's bread and butter. He would have read that move and been on it. But now he just like his concentration's slipping. Like he doesn't have the pace to correct himself after something like that happens. And it's like so many errors at the back. I think it is time. Like as harsh as it is, and as many of us Brighton fans love him and have loved him in the past, he either needs to be a backup, like full-time backup reserve player, or hang it up. Like, as brutal as that is, I don't know whether maybe cup games I could see him have a role. I wouldn't like to see him anywhere else, which is selfish of me, because obviously he's such a Brighton legend, but like he's not built for the Premier League anymore. I feel like even Igor would do a better job, and he has done a better job when he stepped in. And that it's a massive problem. Like you say, it could be injuries that he's had in the past, and even had an injury this season that's kind of made him not as confident and made him off the ball a bit.
He's also always, and I've just kind of a thought, he's really always, again, he's played a lot on the left, in the sort of left centre back role. So I don't know whether that's had an impact. I know Igor, when he's played with Igor, it was him, like Igor usually hold that side. And I just don't know whether the way I say it, I think I don't know kind of what centre back Dunk is anymore, because I felt what he was previously. He was the last man. He'd throw himself literally out in front of everything. But you've got the likes of Van Heck doing that now, and I feel like they are. Van Heck is definitely a much better version. He's our best centre back. I think we can all agree. I think there's no doubt that he has been, and I think he is now that kind of. He's that kind of player, our centre back we've got now. So we don't need two of them. We need a different kind of centre back, where I don't know where Webster adds a little bit something different to the system. But yeah, I think I've just Van Heck and Dunk. I see them as very two similar centre
Too similar,
backs.
yeah.
And that's when we get caught out. Like yesterday, they both probably should be marking the last man.
Yeah.
So Van Heck was probably, you could probably say some degree it was his fault, but again, it was Dunk's man.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been allowed, but yeah, it was. I think I kind of do. I'm on the bandwagon that Dunk needs to hang out the boots now. If we got European football,
oh yeah,
go.
Yeah, I think he's been such a liability next to Van Hecker. When Van Hecker's all season has been so good, or I say all season, like throughout most of the season, he has been phenomenal. And he just had Dunk every time he's played alongside Dunk. It's looked like he's had to cover for a Dunk mistake, or Dunk has been responsible for a goal that they've conceded, and he's just like. I think Joe said it on one of the podcasts. Like, he is basically Dunk's babysitter all season, where Dunk has been such a liability that Van Hecker has then had to step up and be the man to like do two people's jobs. Basically, that's where Webster was at least serviceable for the last couple of games, where he was at least holding his own, and at some games, like actually better than Van Hecker. I think the last couple of games I wrote that he was better than Van Hecker before he got injured.
Yeah.
But yeah, things did pick up though. We did get an equaliser. It was that guy, Danny Welbeck. If only we had Bless on this podcast, because he's back on the score sheet, Danny Welbeck, and hopefully we can actually see him start springing some goals together and getting on a good run again. But yeah, what a lovely finish. And probably more promising, what a lovely ball by Minter.
Oh yeah, I mean that. I've got to give it, and I think a little bit in the build up. I've got to give a little bit of shout to O'Reilly in the build up as well.
Yeah, glad you did.
Because I thought he actually was a really good. I thought Iari was actually probably a standout. Than that, and the build up was part of that. I thought the good ball to Minte, and I think it's just that's what you kind of want from Minte. I think I do like his ability to drive at players, but he's a bit. I think we don't see a lot of him swinging the ball in like that. And I think it was a great ball. Probably, I mean, I think, as I said, I thought it was a great ball. And Welbeck was. We talk about age of Dunk.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I mean, the age of Welbeck, and he's doing like stretching out balls. Just he got a little nudge on it to get into the goal. Was brilliant. It's a good finish, but good awareness of what that's the kind of striker we need and what Welbeck brings to the team. He is that guy, who you just get the ball in, get something on it, whatever it is, it will go towards goal. Which I think he stands out differently to like a Pedro, who I think Pedro's more of a direct. He likes to drive. He likes to have a shot. But I think Danny Welbeck's a target man. And if you've got balls like that in, it was a great finish. I think I didn't see much else of Welbeck after that, but it was a good goal, and it kind of gave a bit of hope for a short time.
Yeah, and yeah, like you say, well, we've completely contradicted ourselves, saying Dunk needs to hang up the boots and Welbeck, because Welbeck's aging like fine wine, while Lewis Dunk is aging like age-old milk, which is never ideal. Turns like milk as well, so that's not ideal. But yeah, it's the instincts of Welbeck that I really liked about the goal, like to see that Minter wasn't going to drive this time and was actually going to look back to cut back and then swing it in, and then for Welbeck to have like the nous to get in front of his defender and then just tap it in. I think it was in front of Munoz, I think it was. And then just tap it in that bottom corner. Lovely finish as well. But yeah, I think that's where Minter really, like, his next stage of development is this being able to do both. Like, because obviously teams are so scared of his pace. So Mitchell was worried about him going down the line. So then he goes, okay, I'll just cut back and swing in a lovely ball. And that's where, if he can start putting them both together, then that's where hopefully we can start seeing him thrive maybe next season and long seasons after that as well. I guess on this segment we'll touch on the final goal, and absolutely luckiest goal I've seen from Munoz. I don't want to be come off as a bitter fan, but complete luck. It took a nick on its way. He shot from a ridiculous angle and distance. Then he gets a nick off Estepinian's arse, and then takes it out of reach from Verbruggen, and bottom corner, jammy.
Yeah,
That's right, Palace fans, jammy.
It was unbelievable. He shouldn't have been allowed to shoot from there, in my opinion.
No,
Like,
you're true.
how is he given that much space? But it all starts from, like, again, the counter attack. Them counter attack, Hinshelwood out of position. That it was a theme throughout the game. Eze would just had so much space to just run.
Yeah.
And we're not fast.
Yeah, no.
We are not like
That's good.
Brighton defenders are not fast.
No.
And like
Hinshelwood, the slow. Van Hecken's moderate. Dunk, they're terrible. And Estepinian, since that injury, he's slow as well.
I always say with Estepinian, do you know what, he jinxed himself when he said he's back. I haven't seen him back yet. He hasn't come back.
This is not the one I remember. Yeah.
But no, again, it was obviously a good ball, and we shouldn't have. Like I say, Munoz shouldn't have had the space. It was lucky, unbelievable luck, but he shouldn't have been allowed to do that. And that's, I think, the difference with the confidence that Palace attacking players have. Oh, I mean, I'm calling Munoz an attacking player. But like, they have the confidence to do that, and they know that Brighton, they can catch Brighton out in these positions on the counter attack, and then just we capitalise it. And luck or not, they shouldn't have been allowed to do that. And it just, I think after that, it just, obviously, we'll touch it. The game just kind of went.
Went into chaos.
But it just, we know what Palace are like this season. They're attacking, they're dominant, and going forward. And I think, but we were scared. I think that we were just not putting in man marking. We weren't shutting the ball down. But again, could Estepinian move his arse out of the way? Probably not. Yes. Just take it anywhere, any other direction. Just throw your ass in front of
it. My issue with the goal, so obviously it came from, like you say, the counter attack, and obviously Eze had acres of space because he floated into the area that Hinshelwood left after he had bombed up the pitch to receive the long ball. And then my thing was, obviously, where it is a counter attack, and Munoz was up and down that right hand side all game. So, which is something that you should, even if you're a Palace neutral, you know that their wing backs get up and down. Like, that is that's one of the things that they are known for. That is their bread and butter. That's why their system works so well, really, is because Mitchell and Munoz are so active down their flanks that they can both defend and attack. And Mitoma kind of needs to read that a lot better, needs to be closer to him, because there was no tracking back. Even if you watch back on the replays, Munoz is in the box and Mitoma is still off screen. And then he's left the responsibility to track back to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly is then too late to kind of react and just doesn't get there in time to have to affect the shot or to block the shot. And that's where you need to have. I know Mitoma isn't renowned for tracking back and his defensive work. And the thinking is probably keep him up the pitch so then we can then counter back. But there needs to be some sort of intelligence and in-game adaptation where Mitoma reads that this is clearly a counter-attack. There's no one down the right-hand side or where he's at that he needs to then follow his man. And he just didn't do that.
Yeah, and you have a very good point there. Mitoma is not. I'm trying to think, he's not a defensive player.
Not at all.
Not at all.
He's always there for he sometimes like if the other team have like penned us in for a little while, he'll come back and then do his defensive work. But like he has never switched on to a counter attack. I don't feel, because I feel he's been told his whole career, "You're our fastest player. You're good with the ball. You're great at first touches from out the air. You are our outlet." But like at times where it's so open on that left hand side, that's where he needs to have some intelligence himself to go, "Oh, okay, I should probably do some defensive work."
Do you reckon then it's a tactical thing then potentially, that when you've got good, like I said, I think that opinion on return is probably quite renowned of that. So
Mm.
then should it be the responsibility of like a believer to be
Well,
filling
yeah.
in that?
Well, I
Because
think that's where O'Reilly was a bit late. I think
yeah,
it was O'Reilly's job then, and I think it is his job to then cover that space. But O'Reilly was on the other side of the pitch because he was expecting a ball from Hinshelwood, who was the one that took the bad touch for them to then break, and then Belieber was also then having to track back Eze. So like the whole midfield was vacated on that side. That Eze, which is intelligence from him really, to have the awareness to then play it to the opposite flank where the space was,
yeah,
and then just kind of no one reacted. So I
mm,
feel like it should have been like it is O'Reilly's job, and I think that is the thinking is like O'Reilly, your defensive work. That's why he was the one that was there late.
yeah,
But sometimes it takes he shouldn't like Mitoma needs to notice, or anyone needs to notice really that O'Reilly's on the other side of the pitch. It's going to take him a while to get on to Munoz or whoever that
you're gonna have to
maybe
run.
I
You're
need to
gonna
take
have to
on.
do it
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time. Yeah, no,
exactly, yeah,
I know. Yeah, and I think that's it'd be interest. It'll be, I think, going forward, be interesting. I think that's gonna. I think what we where we bolster that. We don't. I mean, whether like someone like a Dingo would have done it, and I don't think he probably would have done.
no, no,
I think that is a real
yeah,
problem for us when we lose the ball and like you say, the players are all one half of the pitch and the teams can capitalise that. It just takes one ball over the top, like it
yeah,
was. Eze's got all that space to run. Plan is what he's going to do, and we're then,
so
people
open.
so open, and we can't do anything about it, and we give away a goal, a cheap goal.
Yeah, and that goal did prove costly. That was the nail in the coffin, ultimately. And after this ad break, we will talk about the late drama that unfolded. Do you have a story to tell that the world needs to hear? Have you struggled with reaching new audiences who are engaged with your story? It might be time for you to start a podcast. Let me tell you about a platform we use here at Global Sports Podcast Network. Zencastr makes it easy to start a high-quality podcast built for growth from day one. With 4K audio recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes ums, ahs, you knows, and 22 other speech patterns, Zencastr makes it easy to start a podcast that sounds great. Ready to tell your story? Check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. And we are back with a Daily Brighton podcast. Let's just get this off our chests, Charlie.
Yeah.
Palace, the dirty, cheating scum. Absolute dirty, cheating scum. That's right, I'm calling them out. Gahey, aggressive all game. Fouling left, right and centre. I mean, he tried. Well, he did. He studded Gruder, the poor bloke. Poor Gruder
Yeah.
got studded straight in the stomach. Van Hecker, his first yellow card, was basically Gahey then attacking him, like being really strong in a challenge, and yeah, just dirty from Gahey. Didn't expect that from a man, you know, from
Yeah.
that kind of guy. England's captain, is he captain? No, he's
There's
not. Harry Kane's
Is
captain.
that okay?
England's new centre back, whatever he might be.
Captain. He's got like what, 10 caps?
Yeah, 3 caps. He's lucky to be capped.
Yeah, he's well, yeah, he was. As I say again, I'm not a neutral. I'm gonna not be a neutral. I need to stop being a neutral because I don't like Palace. Let's be honest, I'm not neutral. I don't like them. But yeah, it was just uncalled for. It's one of those. It's a rivalry, and it's kind of. I
Yeah,
think the passion got to him. his was they were yellow cards. You can't argue
Yeah,
with it, to be honest.
simple.
Like that was simple. It was just stupid, particularly when they were at that point when he went off. They were down to 10 men anyway.
I
It
mean,
was
yeah,
just
the studded to Gruder was the most rash one.
it
Like that
wasn't
was
needed.
mental.
It just
Just so
wasn't needed.
unneeded. Yeah.
Like Gruder, I don't know. I try to think how much control Gruder had of the ball. I don't really like. It was middle of the
It was
pitch.
in the air.
It was in the air.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything. So it was just like I don't. I don't. I think that one was. It was. I don't think he meant to, but still, it was just stupid. It was just reckless.
No,
Um,
no, no, no. He meant to. He did a Sheamus bro kick. If anyone's a WWE fan, straight into the stomach to go. You know what? That's it.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. I can't. There's no arguments with those two. The yellow
Yeah.
cards.
The question is, and this is a question on Match of the Day. Nketiah, I definitely think it was a dive. And that could be from a biased perspective. Who knows? Don't want to call me biased or anything, but definitely a dive. Estepinian has his foot planted when Nketiah makes contact, and he even has his arms up before the contact's made. So that's when you know he's being honest. He's not looking to make contact, But those men on Match of the Day, classic. They are always with the attacker and always with the English guy as well. English bias here from Alan Shearer, but clearly said it should have been a pen. On what planet, Alan Shearer? Can you see any sense in what Alan Shearer was saying, Charlie?
Only thing there was contact. There was. That is the only part, but he's carried on running. He's gone
Yeah.
down. Like to be honest, the contact or not, I mean, if it's not. Estepinian's not a brick wall. Like he should be able
No,
to like
yeah.
keep on his feet. If he keeps on his feet, he's probably got a chance of goal.
Yeah. I
So
don't
I
know why
don't.
he died, really.
There was no need for it. It literally just come on. I think it was. It wasn't a pen.
It was very dramatic the way he dived as well. I think that's what gives it away, and that's what made the ref think it was also a dive because they never really called dives. But he
No,
dived. He took a step and then dived.
but it also, I think it was. He didn't contest it much.
No,
I
yeah,
didn't think. I like it, and I don't. I think yeah. Yeah. It was a bit of a dive. I don't think it was a bit. Whether obviously he was saying it was a bit harsh. Yes, it was, but they need to be like you shouldn't be able to allowed to do that. Like you
yeah.
shouldn't be allowed to dive, so you should
Well,
get
yeah.
booked for it.
Let's get out of the game. Exactly.
Get out of the game, and they need to be punished for it. And he could get a bit more punished later on, which was
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then he tried committing us. He was so angry with the dive and getting booked for the dive that he tried committing assault on Van Hecker. Tried studding him in the face. And then he got his second yellow. Have that,
what?
Nketiah.
What is it with Selhurst Park and studs to the face?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of studs up at Selhurst Park, and
They've taken their anger out on, who was it? Preston? No.
it was
Oh, it
Millwall.
was Millwall. Yeah, that was it. And they've taken out on us. Sorry, old Brighton. Poor us.
Yeah,
Poor
again,
Van Hecker didn't deserve that.
no. I mean, I don't know why his head was that low anyway, but because the way he tried to, I don't know what he was trying to do, but yeah, it was again. That was a yellow, hands down.
Yeah,
It was
easy
the
yellow,
boot was
yeah.
high, an easy nubby yellow. To be honest,
Now, I should probably say, we also had a sending off, and I think both challenges, fair enough, they were yellows as well. The first one was just breaking down play, a quick counter attack, and Van Heck was just kind of pulled someone back. You see them given, so that's fair enough as a yellow. The second one, also a yellow, but my problem isn't with Van Hecker. It's that man, Mats Whiffer again. Our absolutely stinking signing of the year. What is the chest pass he's doing? What is that? He's absolutely thrown Van Hecker under the bus
yeah,
by doing
there
that
was
little
no need
crappy
for it.
chest pass.
There was no
So
need.
stupid.
It was not, and I think that why was also this is twice now that you Brighton get an advantage with a player down, or like the other team's lost a player, and you think, right, we've got a chance here. We've lost two. They've lost two. Brilliant. It's fine. We've got
Yeah.
11. But you know what? We're a fair team. let's also lose one. It happened at Newcastle when
Yeah.
Lamptey gets sent off after I think Gordon got sent off. I'm like, why do we need
Yeah.
to do it? But we should just put it was a poor pass, and I don't. Yeah, I can't really. There's nothing you can justify it, and I think there was frustration in Van Hecker at that point as
Yeah.
well.
Well,
The momentum he went, the way he put his foot went down, you could see like that was kind of a fu to Weaver because what have you
yeah.
just given me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, and there was no protesting it. He knew. He was like,
Oh yeah, well, I'm really glad with how he reacted in terms of like he ran straight off, knowing that we needed a goal, and like he didn't even wait for the yellow card to be given. He was like, "Yeah, that's the yellow card. Run down the tunnel, and then hopefully we can get the game up and running. We're still we're a man up." Unfortunately, for the remaining 12 minutes or however long, we didn't produce anything other than those like snapshots that were blocked that I mentioned earlier, and then like as you said, a Yari shot right at the end. But that was how we didn't score against 12 men, against 9 men for 12 minutes. It's criminal, quite frankly.
I think you know I'm noticing is a confidence. We don't have the like you look at where like Munoz's just like driving, having the confidence to have a shot about just
Yeah,
outside the box. We just don't have that, and I think there is a confidence thing going on like with Lucky Yari. I mentioned before the podcast, like I feel for him. I think he's confident, like he's getting so close to goals. I don't
yeah,
like he's obviously hit the post the other day. Like and obviously today was a great save and it's just it's not falling for him and I think it's a confidence that we're just not do it and we can't beat this low block. We just
yeah. That's
can't
my thing.
we just can't
Yeah,
seem to do it.
no, we suck
Mm.
against like scoring against a team that defends low and throws men in front of the ball. That's my thing with it. It's constant now. Like it really is something
Which
that I guess Hertzler needs to figure out for next season, and find a way to kind of break it.
I guess it's having like the like, I mean Believer had a shot in the first half. Like
Yeah,
more of that. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
would rather I mean it was directly at Dean
Because I
Henderson
mean,
so
the rebound ended up right at Danny Welbeck's path, and he could
yeah,
have so easily finished that
yeah, and that's
on
what I think we
another
need to
day.
see more of. I'd
Yeah,
like to see that more from O'Reilly. I know I
yeah,
spoke about him earlier on this podcast. I thought I got to give him again a shout. I thought did for a guy who has not really played much the last couple of months. Probably should have come on, arguably in maybe the Forest game, and made. But I thought he did start really well. But I'd like to see a bit more of him, like actually going at goal, having a couple of chances
yeah,
because I think that's what we can't. We're too slow when there's a low block. We're too slow with it. They get bodies behind the ball, and we just can't do anything about it. I'd rather us take a shot, go for a corner, or
yeah,
just I think, or get deflections and stuff like that, like and have the confidence to do that. And I just don't think we do. And it just we're not taking those opportunities. Like we should at least pull one back there. It should have been a
yeah.
draw at the end of the day.
It should we should have at least got a point. Yeah, definitely.
And I know we're just. I think it'd be going forward with obviously Van Heck going, well, not going,
Yeah.
being suspended for a game is going to be a big loss.
And yeah, I mean, well, we spoke off air, didn't we? It's going to probably be next week. Dunk and Aaron Cashin. We've heard our thoughts on Dunk earlier in the podcast, and we've got to bring up. We didn't get a chance to do a podcast on the Aston Villa game, but we got to bring up Aaron Cashin, his debut against Aston Villa, and good God, it was not a good one. Poor bloke. He was responsible. I mean, I don't know what he's doing for Villa's second. He's flown in to like their sideline and just absolutely misjudged the ball. It's in behind and then they're through. And then the second one, he is nowhere near tight enough and to Donyell Marlon and then just lets the ball go under his legs. So yeah, next week's prospect, the only positive of it being a Dunk Cashin back line or centre back partnership for next week is that it's against Leicester. And they suck. So that's the only hope.
You know what's that? Jamie Vardy's going to score.
Yeah, the pace of
I'm calling it now. This time next week, I feel like I'm going to be saying, "I told you."
Yeah.
But I think I'd be really. I think looking. That's what we've got really. But I'd be really. I
Yeah,
think how Hurts. This is going to be a real test how he adapts now to losing. Arguably, well, not arguably, his best defender
yeah,
for a game. I know we've done without Van Heck before, but we didn't. We had the likes of obviously Igor, Webster.
yeah.
Um,
And now it's like fourth and
yeah,
fifth choice.
yeah. I think it'd be very interesting how the setup will be. Um, I think it needs to be a little bit of a. So I want to say maybe three at the back
Yeah,
and more emphasis on the midfield to support the defense a little bit more because I think we're gonna. It's Leicester don't have anything. They're going down. Let's be honest, they are.
yeah,
But at the same time, we need to get our confidence back. We've got some big games now. Leicester's a must win.
yeah.
If I
100%.
think if we lose the next two, I can't remember who we've got after Leicester. I think we've got Brentford actually. I think it's Brentford. So
Potentially.
so two. We need to win those games. Are big games to win if we wanted to get
Yeah.
European football. Cashing could prove us wrong.
Well, we'll wait and see.
We wait and see, but
Fingers
yeah,
crossed.
it's gonna be a tough one. I'm
Yeah.
dreading it a little bit.
Have some optimism. We will be reviewing the Leicester game later on this week, so we'll give our thoughts on how we think that'll play out and how we think Cashman will do. But yeah, that has been the podcast reviewing Crystal Palace 2, Brighton 1. It's a sad day for all of us, and we hope you don't get abuse from any Palace fans that you do know. And if you haven't already got abuse, then lucky you. But on that note, what a sad, tragic weekend we've had. But long live the Seagulls, and we will bounce back. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Peace out.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.